Just for a second. Got the mic. Sorry, mic is all in everybody's face. Apologize about that. And this is a quick little stream, nothing too crazy. No 30-hour stream. Just wanna wanna go over how I actually mix down this loop I got here, which is pretty cool. Play it really quick. Actually, let me open up, almost forgot to open up the YouTube chat. Go to YouTube really quick. Go to YouTube. Yeah. Go to my channel. All right, there I go. There I go. There I go. You know what? I gotta open up the Facebook joint too, man. It'd be people on Facebook talking. Get a chance to see it. I gotta open that up. But got the YouTube chat open. All right, so YouTube Twitch chat is open, and I have to open up I'll do the Facebook on my next stream. This is supposed to be a quick stream, nothing too major, nothing too crazy, nothing too long. Just wanted to go over like my mixing style. I guess one of my mixing styles and techniques. My mixing style kind of changes a little bit depending on what device I'm using, what tools I have at my thing, exposure. But let's jump into it. So I'm gonna take all the stuff off the master, because the stuff that's on the master, my computer is not a powerhouse, so it might make my computer get a little crazy. But I'll go back to the master, because the master is where I add a lot of tricks, little special effects to make the sound come together. It's like that glue, you know. But so let's go to, how many tracks we got here? 1, 2, let's play. Take all the effects off. Take all the effects off of everything. I'm just going to break it down, make it into a loop again as well. So we have all the effects off of this one too. Yeah. All right, so we're golden. So go back, make it a loop. Got it stretched out. All right, so here's a loop. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 tracks. So 5 different melodies basically coming together to create one awesome cinematic loop that you can actually take and put into a hip hop track. That's why you don't see it right now, but I got the MPC right here ready to go, because I could drag this loop in and start making a hip hop record. But before I got to that point, I created a cinematic loop. Original, no help whatsoever. Just I was just sitting here playing around with the keys. And one of my tricks also is that I don't use the white keys when I create music anymore. I used to use the white keys a lot, but I usually now I stick to the black keys, because it gives me my sound, like the sound that I want. More pleasing to the ear for me, you know. So I kind of stay away from the white keys now. I mean, I might go back there, you know what I'm saying, but right now it's just not where I'm at. Anyway, so let's check out the first loop that we got. without no effects whatsoever. So I usually start out with like a 2-bar loop, 4-bar loop, or 8-bar loop. And this one was a 8-bar loop. And at the last like bar, it like does a little change up, then it goes right back into the melody again. It goes right back into the melody again. So it's pretty cool, nice, simple, cinematic strings. And let's go to the mixing now. So I'm gonna show you how I mix that. So track 1. First thing I wanted to do is compress it. So I do a compressor on it. Bring up the compressor. So not that fast of an attack. A pretty long release. The reason why I did a pretty long release is because these are strings, and I wanted to hold the strings down. I didn't want the strings to like, I didn't want it to bounce around. And I didn't do a fast attack on it because I didn't want to squash the beginning of the note. Yo, Jezza, what's good, Jezza? How's everything? Just going over how I mix down this melody, this cinematic melody for people. So, but my threshold, I slammed it like with the threshold all the way down, but then I bumped the gain up pretty high. So this is and then the ratio, I usually do the ratio 3-to-1 or 6-to-1 or something like that. So the ratio is like, 3. So let's hear it compress. That's a nice compression. I really like that compression. It's like really, if you listen to the compressor, it's like it's working, and it's really bringing that sound to the forefront. It's like bringing it to like you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. So let's hear it with it off. You had the strings have a rising effect to it without the compressor. It's almost like it's trying to come in. It's trying to fade in. Like the strings are like, you know what I mean? But that's cool and all when it's like really for like a movie or something. Like you're trying to express emotion for a scene. But I wanted to use this for like a hip hop record. So I wanted the strings to be even kill across the board, still have that punch, but still allow me to bring in other sounds that help the strings out. So bring the compressor back in. See, now it's more punchier, more up in your face. You can hear it. And that it doesn't really have that steep like incline, like that fade in type effect. It still has the effect, but since I compressed it, it's more tighter together. It's like, it's like, it's more like, you know what I'm saying? It's really moving instead of like a slow, like, when you mess around with compressor, you really get into this type of stuff. And I go crazy with my compression. But some people are like, oh, do light compression or this and that. Like, there's a whole bunch of rules people give you. I don't follow no rules. I don't care. I just get in and whatever sounds good to me, the way it makes me, if it makes me feel a certain way and I like it, I leave it like that. So that's the compressor. Now let's throw on the EQ. Let's pull that up. And This is the Renaissance. If you go, I think I might have the link in the description of the video, but this is the Renaissance bundle from Waves, Waves plugins. This is like the best like plugins, man. They get the job done. Trust me, like they're amazing. So we got the compressor going. Now we got the EQ going on the sound. And what I like to do is I like to cut. I cut because the more I cut, the more I gain. I cut a lot, dude. Like I'm serious. Like I like dip. Some people might be like, "Yo, why you putting that samurai sword to those sounds, man? You cut, you killing. Like you don't have that same vibe because most of that stuff you don't need, and most of I don't need it. You know, it doesn't belong there. It's taking up extra space. Like a lot of times, it's like a lot of air, like over here, but in the 8K range, 8K going up to like 20 kilohertz. There's a lot of air there you don't need. On some sounds you might need it, like maybe on a vocal to give a little crisp sound. You might boost that up actually, so it depends on your need. But when it comes to like mixing down certain sounds, I kind of like cut a lot too to give room for other instruments and give room to the vocalists. Because if you have too much jumbled up in here, it's not good. It's really not good. And I usually cut like the bottom in. I usually cut the top in, and I also kill around like anywhere in the midtones between like 500 kilohertz. Somewhere in this area is always some mud, like a mud in your audio. So I always like dip that out and cut somewhere, but you got to find it though. So if you watch my videos, like my live streams, you'll see me doing a lot of sweeping. Because when you sweep, you can find the resonant frequencies or the mud. So resonant frequencies, that's a whole nother tutorial. But resonant frequencies are those frequencies that like, ooh, they really like are ringing your eardrums, and you can hear them. You got to cut those; they don't belong in them. it might be one frequency. You just got to dip it out, So anyway, let's hear it with the EQ. Turn the EQ off. Well, actually, I didn't put it on yet. I'm gonna put it on. Sorry. All right, here's the EQ. Let me turn it up for you so you can hear it. It's a beautiful sound. Let me turn the EQ off again. You hear the muddy frequencies on the bottom end and in the mid-tone that you don't need. Let's bring the EQ back in. Like just between the compression and the EQ, the sound is just amazing now. I cut, what's this, around like 800. It's around like 800. I did like a negative dip. So I cut this frequency right here just a little bit, not too much, because I still want some mid presence. And then I sloped off this frequency range around like 300 to like, I don't know, maybe like 600. And it cleared up so much. I didn't even touch the highs. It's just this bottom end. I heard it when I was listening to it. Do it again. Big difference. You can hear it. And it's a cleaner sound, and it gives me more room to operate now. Now I could put a sound in this frequency range. You know what I mean? All right, so now what I like to do with my strings is I always like to double them up. Like I need them to be fat, thick. So you could use chorus effects, you could use double effects, you could use big reverbs. You want to do that for your strings because that's what they are. They're supposed to bring emotion, the thickness, the fullness. I almost make my strings turn into a pad, So let's bring in a doubler. I'm using Soulmate. This is another Waves plugin. So the double is a subtle effect, very, very subtle. I mean, you could go crazy with it, but I just use the Soulmate preset. It gives me a nice, like, subtle thickness to the strings. Now I'm gonna throw on the CLA Epic. This is how this looks. Another Waves plugin. So I did the ambient pad. So this plugin is pretty cool because it actually takes delays and reverbs and put them together. So it will take your delays and it will send your delays through the reverb, which is like a classic trick that they use on vocals and stuff like that. You know how you hear like a vocalist like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? And then like they might be like, my girl. And then like the word girl, they want to like have like that big double or ambient effects of like girl, whatever. So they're like, they'll double the vocal. Then on track 2, they'll cut everything but just leave the word girl. And then they'll put that word girl through this epic stereo, you know what I'm saying? And then it'll give you like that big, nice delay sound. So it's different tricks you could do, but I use it on strings too. A lot of people say, oh, keep stuff to like, oh, this goes to reverb. I mean, this reverb goes on vocals. This type of reverb goes on vocals. I hear all that stuff, but when I get into the software, I'm like, man, I'm trying everything on everything. You never know what could come out of anything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just there's a massive difference. When you learn how to mix it, like when you really get into just music production and really understand and talk with people and build with people and find out different things, then you'll understand then you'll start understanding what's actually happening with audio. It's not just mixing. It's science. A lot of times it's science. Like I give you a cool example. If I didn't create the presets for this, you know what I'm saying? I use analog 5, right? So I use that. I didn't create those presets. Somebody else created the preset. I mean, whatever. I mean, I can create preset. I got my micro feature right here. If I want to create sounds, I can make sounds original. You know what I mean, but I didn't create it. So when they created it to their liking, how they wanted that preset to sound. But when you get that preset and you start playing it, you might like how that preset sounds, but you might not like some of the artifacts or some of the characteristics of it. So now you have to learn how to take some of that stuff away, so then now you could use what you want out of that specific sound and then start adding to it. And that's a part of mixing a lot of times. You know what I mean? Cut, which actually you gain from cutting. Well, yeah, I mean, that's why I'm doing this live stream. I'm specifically doing this live stream just to show people, like, just, you know, and within a couple steps, you can make it sound so dynamic. So, all right, so let's run this. I'm gonna run this through the CLA Epic and let's see how it sounds. I'm gonna turn it on. It's on now. So, do you hear it? Okay, it's so dope. It's so dope. So when you throw the Epic is so dope. I'm gonna tell you right now. But I have it on the Ambient Pad preset. It has a throw delay. So it's like a throw delay, but it's going into a nice plate reverb. You know what I mean? With like a nice pre-delay on it. I want you to listen to the sound and listen to the attack of the sound. So like the string attacks like, but then listen to the throws that's happening after that. The ambience that's filling up the room. That's what I want. I want cinematic. I want the room to feel like there's something going on in that space. So listen to it. Hear that airiness? Right after this airiness, right after that attack. It's like, as soon as that attack ends, you'll hear like the airiness, like, but it's like the reverb and the delays making that string move around, like almost like a cinematic, just like, listen to it. It's so dope, man. You hear it still going? You hear that? You hear the delays when I turn the sound off? You hear that? That's cinematic airiness. That's what I'm talking about. So if I was to take off these first 4 plugins and play it, you hear the sound just cuts. It goes cut basically. There's a little fade to it, like a little reverb on it, but it's like it cuts. Play it again. Cuts. Cuts. Now see, that's what you don't want, because the world is so big. There's so many like things and objects and, you know, saying reflections, stuff is bouncing off of this, bouncing off of that. Like, why think when they say, oh, when you build a studio, you got to have all this padding and stuff around, because they don't want those reflections bouncing back into the microphone. Like, you walking through a tunnel, there's so much reverb in that tunnel. You go into your bathroom, there's so much reverb in your bathroom. You can get a natural reverb by putting a mic in your bathroom. That would sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? It might be sound a little too crazy. You know what I mean? That's why you don't really want that. But, you know, so if you really think about the world, then you understand mixing. If you think about movies, you understand mixing. You think, because movies it's just a clone of the real world. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you hear a lot of instrumentals online, you don't hear this. You hear the string like cutting a lot, cut. You might hear a reverb, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even hear a real technical reverb. Like, people don't really know how to use reverb. You know what I mean? Like, this is a string sound, so you're gonna hear a big reverb on the string sound, big reverb. You know what I mean? You want that thing to sound nice and lush, and then at the end you can start cutting some frequencies back and things of that nature. But on maybe a vocal, you're not gonna hear as much reverb. So you have to understand how to mix. Or maybe certain parts of the reverb, vocal, you might have more reverb than others. You know, so it all depends. You know, it's all about, it's like sound design, but understanding when you're sound designing, what are you sound designing for? Well, I'm sound designing for cinematic. So if I'm doing cinematic, my stuff is gonna be more like about a movie, and my stuff is about real life. So I'm thinking about this when I'm mixing. I mean, I'm like, oh, okay, put this, bam, this, bam, bam, bam. And I'm saying, I understand music theory. I understand the logic behind it. I understand capturing certain moments. What is this for? So let's put those plugins back on, and we can hear the difference really quick again. That sound right there is epic. I don't even have to touch it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I did touch it because I never give up on my sounds. I never give up on my beats. I'm always thinking this could be something better I can do. Add more, big, full, thick. You know what I'm saying? Hard hitting, whatever. You know what I mean? To talk about the reverb on the MPC. So yeah, I mean, it's not just the MPC though. It's FL Studio. It's Ableton. It's like any other, like, there's so many things out there, but it's everything. Reverb is just tricky because you have to understand what you're trying to do, what are you trying to achieve, and it's all about what you are trying to achieve. That's another thing. Like, there's no real rules, because somebody can say, oh, you put too much reverb on that vocal, but you don't know what that producer was trying to achieve. So, like, I give you an example, like Ghost Wave music. A lot of people might think Ghost Wave music might have too much reverb on it. You know what I'm saying? But I put a lot of reverb in Ghost Wave music because it's supposed to have a cinematic, airy vibe. Because Ghost Wave music is, you know what I'm saying, cinematic air hop. So it's supposed to be like a hip hop style flavor, but airy, like a lot of air, but cinematic, you know what I'm saying, at the same time. So it all depends on you. You know what I'm saying? Now, so like I really couldn't tell you what to do with your reverb, or if it's good or if it's bad. And nobody could tell you that. Only you could tell yourself that. So, but I could just give you some general rules. If you're using a vocal, half the time you probably don't even need a reverb, maybe a small reverb. Or if you're doing like vocal chops for a chorus, you might want to put a lot of reverb on it to give it an ambient feel. So it's all about you playing around with the sound. This is what my teacher taught me at the end of the day. He said it doesn't matter what you use or how you use it. Only thing that matters is that it sounds good at the end of the day. So if the product sounds good, leave it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even stress over it. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure your reverb, like, the only thing I can tell you is that make sure your reverb's not overlapping. There's no looping, like feedback. It's not clashing. There's no phasing. So if you put a reverb on a snare hit, so the snare hit's like boom, it's like a clap, right? So it's like, so the reverb is gonna go. It needs to stop at a certain point. It needs to stop, like almost like the tail end of that reverb needs to stop just before the next clap comes in. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want the first reverb snare to go into the second reverb snare. Maybe a little bit like that tail end. You know how like a triangle? Like this is a triangle, right? So the triangle, this the bottom end of the triangle, but then it gets very, very skinny towards the top of the triangle. You know what I'm saying? So the reverb starts here, big and fat. But by the time that reverb gets to that next snare, it needs to be thin and skinny like that. So it like tucks up under that next attack, that next hit. Boom. So you have to understand those premises. You know what I'm saying? So when it's like a snare or like a hi-hat, you know, so you don't want big reverbs on the hi-hat because it's just they're hitting too fast. So you can put tiny reverb on there, just lower that reverb down. You know what I'm saying? The mix of the reverb, just lower it down, blah, 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 and stuff like that. You're not gonna put like a hall reverb on a hi-hat. You might put a room reverb on a hi-hat because a room reverb is it has a short release time. Very, very short. So you have to understand the reverb that you're using, right? Or you could just get like something like the CLA Epic, throw on one of these presets, you know what I'm saying? Then you start just messing with the dials and start messing with the stuff. So, but I actually have a snare tutorial that's coming. That's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, with the snare. So you okay? So compression and EQ can play a lot with reverb, depending on the first. Okay, the first thing you want to do with your sound is fix your sound. So the first thing I did with my sound right at the beginning, let me show you. This is my sound. It's big and full, but it has too many artifacts in there, stuff I don't need. I throw the compression on to bring everything nice and tight together. So now I can hear the sound even better. And it's flowing the way I want it to flow. Then I throw the EQ on to cut what I don't need out of that sound. So I'm fixing the audio. I'm doing audio repair before I do my effects. So I do compression so I could make the sound tighter together. Then I EQ all the stuff I don't want in there. Or I boost I might want to boost some frequencies too. But I didn't boost in this one. Then I did a doubler because I wanted to sound full. So I opened it up with a doubler. It's going to bring out a little bit more of the highs. Then I did the CLA Epic to make it more into a pad string sound. Okay? Now that's me fixing the sound and then making the sound, then doing like sound design, like ambient, you know what I'm saying, filling up the room and stuff like that to the sound. And then from there, once I do all the special effects, then you could go back in there and drop, if you want to, drop a compression at the end to compress everything together and do another EQ. So if you look right here right here in this area, I have two more slides. If I wanted to, I could have threw a compressor right here. and then compressed it, that would have compressed all the stuff together, the doubler, the CLO Epic, you know what I'm saying, the RC20, another reverb. It compressed all of it together, and then I could have done another EQ to start cutting frequencies that I didn't want. And it did to believe it or not, the chain that you do this stuff in matters. That chain matters. Don't think it doesn't matter. Don't think you just you could put something on any slot and it'll work. No, if I was to take this compressor and take it off and move it all the way down to the bottom, it would change the sound drastically because it's different. So that order matters. Even in the MPC, you only got 4 slots, right? 4 inserts. I mean, then you do your sends and your returns and stuff like that. Depending on how you work in the MPC, the order you do it in matters. When I went to school, they was like, the first thing they said EQ or compression or EQ. That's the first thing the teachers was talking about, and there was a battle in the school. Like people were like, nah, no, EQ first, nah, compression first. But think about what they said. They didn't say reverb first. They didn't say a delay first. They didn't say a flanger first. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say like a Doppler effect first, or like a ping pong or something to make the sound move first. They didn't say like a tremolo. They didn't say like a wah wah effect. You know, they didn't say none of that. They said compressor, EQ. You know what I'm saying? Because what are they trying to do? They're trying to fix the sound within the first 2 or maybe 3 slots. And if you got good EQs, like I got, let's see this EQ right here. Let me bring it back. Oh, sorry. This is a 4-band EQ. I only use 2 of them, but I still have 2 more that I can use, and then I also have a 6-band EQ. So you can get real crazy if you start moving around in the presets. You see mad presets. The presets, and don't sleep on the presets. Use the presets, but learn from the presets. But like, okay, why did they dip the sound out at this point in the preset? Undo what they did and then put it back. And you'd be like, oh, okay, I get what they're doing. They're moving mud here. They're moving hiss here. They're moving air here. They're moving resonant frequencies at this point in time. So fix your sound first, and then do all your effects. And then if you want, after your effects, you can compress and EQ again, or you just leave it alone. As you can see, I left it alone. You know what I mean? So let's add the chorus to this. Add the chorus effect. And close some of these. We don't need them no more. We already talked about them. Okay, so I have a chorus effect on here, but it's a very minimum chorus effect. So what I use my chorus effects for is to add a little bit of like movement to like the sound, like a little bit. But I like for the chorus, my chorus effect to attack the high frequency. I want to bring out the high frequency a little bit more, because some of my sounds like have like more of like a little darker tone. So I use my chorus effect to like enhance the higher frequencies a little bit, but add like that little chorus effect. Not too much though, just enough. And then I'm gonna show you the RC20. So I'll show you what we did with that. You hear that? So the orchid is, if you really pay attention to the sound, the orchid is bringing out these little like high frequencies. They like high frequency. Like I can't make it with my mouth, but you have to listen to the sound, and you'll hear in the high tone, high frequency range, you hear like these little high sounds. That's what that's doing. And then the RC20 is giving it more of like that tube effect, like that old school tube, you know, like the analog sound. You know what I mean? So just I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna show you, okay? I hope you can hear it. I don't know if you have good speakers, good headphones, but there's in my left ear and my right ear, and just and like kind of like panning a little bit. There's high frequencies, like very little high frequencies, almost sounding like deep space. Like if you see a movie and like you think about space, you can hear it. That's coming from the chorus effect. That's enhancing the high frequencies that's in the sound already. And the tube, then we got the RC20 tube effect going on, which actually like kind of like it kind of like squashes some of the delays and the reverb that was coming from the CLA Epic. So take these two off. Put them back on now. Yo, what's up, John? Just going over how I mixed down this cinematic sound yesterday. Now I'm gonna take these off again. You see how that tube effect from the RC20 brings a little bit more life and characteristic into the sound, but it also dampens that CLA Epic. So you see how big this CLA Epic is? See, it's like fanning out a lot. Now when I put the RC20 back on, it's back on now. See how it tames it? It's not. See, it's not as big, but it's big. Like it's full, but it's not like, you know. And it's sitting so subtle now. But I wasn't done there though. So now let's go and add the Reverb. Wow. Now the Reverb, okay. It's another trick. So reverb can be used. Don't be afraid to use the reverb. The reverb is how you pan north and south. Okay. So my teacher asked us, and this was many years ago, asked us in school. He was like, how do you pan north and south? Nobody knew the answer. What are you talking about? Because, you know, panning is east to west. It's like left and right. You know what I'm saying? So panning north and south is reverb. So reverb, the more you put on, it's going to push the sound back. And the least amount of reverb is going to have the sound up in your face like this. So I'm saying like, you know? So that's how you pan north and south. So me listening to the sound, I'm like, I already knew I wanted to throw another reverb on there on top of that. This other one, because I wanted to sit the sound back, because I knew I was going to put sounds over the top of it, and I wanted it to sound cinematic. So let's take this reverb off and hear the sound. Sorry. Now let's put the reverb on. It's going to sit it back in the mix. So, and this is like a gated reverb, and the wet is at like 60. but it pushes it back just enough. You still hear the sounds. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's so nice. And then the last step is going to be an EQ at the end. And I'm just going to cut some highs off of this. I don't need them. Cut the air out. Do you hear the difference? So I put that reverb on to sit it back. It has that full sound coming from the CLA Epic. You know what I'm saying? It has the high frequencies from the chorus effect, the Orchid. It has that tube sound from the RC20 to make it like, you know what I'm saying, sound like the old school vibe a little bit. But then I cut the high frequency off of it because I don't need it. All I want is that cinematic string to give you that emotion. And I don't need the air. So let's put the air back in. Take the EQ off. Need more reverb. We gotta add more. It's too silly. Yeah, reverb is crazy. But so now let's cut the high frequencies. We don't need them. Let's use the EQ again. You see that? I didn't cut, and I didn't cut the sound really. I cut that hiss, that air. I don't need that air in it. I cut it. I mean, it sounds good. You could leave it like that. Oh, you can leave this like this. It's your preference. It's what you want to do. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, for what I want to do, I don't need it. You know what I mean? I could, if you want, you could even automate that. Let's say like doing a cinematic record, and there's some part like somebody's, let's say like you're the movie. They stuck in quicksand. So they stuck in quicksand. They're trying to get out. So then I'll have the EQ on. I'll put the EQ on because I want the sound like this. Right? Then I'll automate. Then once somebody comes over and starts rescuing them and they're climbing out the quicksand, then I'll automate the EQ to open up and let that frequency back in, so that it has more of an airy sound in it, because now it's like brighter days. You know what I'm saying? This person is being saved. So then I'll take that EQ off, you know what I'm saying? And I'll leave it brighter now. Now it's bigger, fuller. Oh, we saved them, yeah. So it's all about your preference. So when you're mixing, you can also think about, all right, boom, I know this part in the hip hop record, I want the strings to be a little bit higher. But I put the EQ on it, you know what I'm saying, for the verse. So now when I go back into there, I take the EQ off, or I automate the EQ to open that filter up slowly, and let some of the high sounds back in. Like, you got to be thinking about this when you're mixing, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're just doing like, you know, you just chopping up samples and you just add in some drums, hi-hats, snares, and, you know, maybe you add a bass line, you call it a day. Then that's on you know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking on that. I'm thinking on bigger, better, you know, like big, full, thick strings, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. But anyway, so now this sound is done. I don't even have to touch it no more until I touch the master. So when I touch the master, I'm touching everything all at once. So I'm essentially affecting the strings again. But I have to listen to the whole mix while I'm doing the master. That's the difference. So right now I'm just focused on just that one string sound. But then when the master comes, I have to focus on all of them together. So it's a lot to me. That's why when there was like a debate when people talking about, oh, you can just sample, like, you know, you original is the same thing as sampling. To me, I don't think so, because I think being original is a lot harder, to be honest with you, because you have to do the work from nothing, going all the way up to create something, and then you have to make a beat after that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to first create your sound, even if you're using presets or not. Shoot, don't let me get started. Let's say if you have to create your sound from scratch. So let's say if I take this device right here, it's a little dusty. I haven't used it mad long, right? Well, let's say if I take this device right here, the Micro Freak. I don't use any presets. I set it to an initial patch and I start messing around with the knobs and I create an original sound. It's pretty dope. I still have to now take that sound and mix it. Now I gotta mix that sound. You know what I'm saying? I have to make that sound like something that's ear candy, something that people can actually listen to. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I use a preset, it's pretty much the same thing. It's something that I would have created. You know what I mean? But anyway, once you create something from scratch, then you gotta mix it, and then you gotta go make a beat to it, and then you gotta mix the beat. So this is far from done. The master has all the stuff on the master. So once I create that loop, I gotta go add my percussion and stuff to it, my sound effects, and then I gotta mix those together to make sure they all sound the same. Because everything needs to sound like it's in the same room. You can't have something sounding like you made something in outside somewhere, and then part of it was made in the studio. It can't sound like, they have to sound cohesive. They have to sound together. You know what I'm saying? So that even if, let's say if I pull this into the MPC right now, this loop, I have to know how to mix that sound to make it sound like the stuff that I use in FL Studio. I don't have these plugins in the MPC. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be using the stock plugins in the MPC to mix my sound. So if you think about that for a second, if I don't have the stock, if I don't have these, these plugins in the MPC, but I put my sample into the MPC I created, but I want it to sound like it's in the same room as the stuff I just created. So when I'm mixing, I have to really listen to my sound and understand what I'm doing. I have to really, sorry, I had the hand over the camera. Sorry. I have to really listen to what I'm doing with the sound to make the sound cohesive. It has to match. It has to be in the same room. So how do I do that? Well, I have to know how to mix. I have to understand mixing. I have to understand what the sounds are doing. I have to understand, like, well, this snare doesn't go with this sound, but then that reverb on the snare doesn't go with the sound, or that reverb does go with the sound. The delay is, you know what I'm saying? I have to understand that. And then after that, you have to master that. You have to master that record together, that cohesiveness. So it's a lot when you're doing from scratch. To me, I know a lot of people say, oh, sampling is hard. I don't think sampling is that hard, because you wasn't in the studio with Hans Zimmer. You wasn't in the studio with like all these top, you know what I'm saying, composers creating, or you wasn't in Motown. You probably wasn't even alive when Motown was doing anything. So you wasn't in the studio with Diana Ross when she was blowing it down and that audio engineer was mixing that record down. You know what I'm saying? Like that, whoever that person was mixing that record down at that time, you know what I'm saying? They knew what they were doing, and they got a dope record, and they put it out there for the world to hear it. And then you hear about, oh, that Diana Ross track is dope. I want to sample it. So you go and sample. You just took the work of Diana Ross, whoever was helping her write the song or sing the song, her backup singers, the studio that made the room. You know what I'm saying? Soundproof, whatever, for, you know what I'm saying? So the workers who built that studio, you know what I'm saying? The engineer who mixed that studio down, you literally, the fucking janitor who was cleaning up the goddamn bathroom stalls when they was going to eat, them going to piss and shit and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All the people that was in that building working to make that shit happen, make those songs happen, you took that from all of them. And then you just chop it up, make a quick loop, chop, put some drums to it, and now you supposed to be the best producer in the world. I don't see. You're not. You got people. You got a worker over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how that is better or harder than being original. So yeah. So this is a lot. So let's go to the second sound. So that was the first sound. So let's go to the second sound. Hear this one out. Let's mute. Oh, I don't really need to mute them over here. I had them muted on the track. Let's throw these back on. So let's do track 2 now. Yo, you crazy. Yeah, it's a lot of work when you do the initial patches. A lot of work. He said, step 1, he do all that stuff. An hour later, let's go back to, you know what I'm saying, the presets. Fuck it. No, don't. Hey, don't feel guilty. I'm not saying. Listen, I got tracks that are sampled. Don't, you know, sampling is fun. It's cool. Like, I like sampling. This is something that I can't create because I'm not there. I'm not in their studio. I don't have those big studio. I don't have their voice. I don't have none of that. So sampling is cool. Don't get me wrong. And you can make a lot of money sampling. But the only thing I don't like is like when I don't like it when people act like they're the dopest producers when they just take from other people. Like when they take MIDI chord packs or when they take those sample packs online, they make a beat, and then the beat might sound pleasing to your ear. Well, it might sound pleasing to the untrained ear. You know what I'm saying? And the people are like, oh, that's dope, that's fire. But when I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, I know that's a sample. I know that's a loop. I know that's just that, and it's not mixed down properly. I'm like, but then it's two sides of the story. One, the producer thinks they're dope. You're not dope because you don't really understand music. Because the problem that producer's going to run into is when they get called to go into a big studio, they ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. They first of all, they're gonna get ran out the studio. The audio engineer sitting there that's helping them mix down whatever. They're gonna get ran out the studio. Second thing, they're gonna get blackballed out the game, and the word's gonna go around like this person doesn't even know how to mix. They don't even know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what a compressor does, EQ does. They don't know how to take sounds out of a sound. They don't know how to cut. They don't know how to cut to boost and all that stuff. They don't know how to do none of that stuff. They don't have real creativity. Meaning like, so like creativity could be like, oh, take a string sound, do all your adjustments to it, then take that string sound, duplicate it, put it onto another track, pan both left and right. You know what I'm saying? So you got one string on the left, one string on the right, then duplicate that track again. So now you got three sounds of that same sound. Take that third sound, put it in the middle, put a high pass filter on it, so all you're getting is that low rumble on it, and that maybe a little bit of the mid-tone. Tuck that volume down low, so now you have a three-way string sound going on. One string on the left, one string on the right, one string tucked in, give you a nice full sound. They don't do stuff like that. They just take that loop, they loop up that loop, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like different tricks and stuff you can do to fill up the sound, enhance the sound, and then what's up? Okay, I got you. And you know, that's just one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a ton of stuff you can do, man. A ton of stuff. But they don't know how to do any of that because you could listen to the mixes and hear it. Like literally, I'm listening to me personally, I know I'm listening to your music with a trained ear. And a lot of time I'm like, nah, this not it, man. But anyway, let's listen to the second sound. This has no effects on it just yet. So this is a nice what I use here. Go check it out. So I wanted to add some strings that come next, but these are tremolo strings. So then is that vibration, that vibration. So you know, I just, you know, I use it as stabs though. So there's stabs, as you can see, quick stabs. To add characteristic, add drive, add some feeling to it, you know. So I put them together. It's all about that cinematic vibe. So it's how you go about it, you know. So let's look at the effects that we add to this. So first thing, huh? Okay, I'm gonna get my son some juice really quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, never. Trust me, dude. It's all about personal preference. It's all about what how you feel at the end of the day. My only argument is I don't like it when people personally think they're the dopest when they're not even creating. They don't even try to create original, so they're just living off of other people. That's like freeloaders. It's like beggars. It's like, try. You don't even try to create that soul sample that you just sample. So my thing is, you like that soul sample. Why don't you just go online, go on YouTube, find out how to make soul samples, how to make soul music, what key they're playing music in, what patterns they're doing. Get your damn keyboard, do exactly what they're telling you, and now you know how to make your own soul samples. If I was to pull out my record, I forgot the name of the record. I got so many joints. That it'll come to me. But the one I did with Ghetto Styles, right? Well, I didn't do it with Ghetto Styles. I did it by myself. This is my record, but I featured Ghetto Styles on it because it came from Block Squad Fresh. You know what I'm saying? So the Block Squad Fresh expansion pack for the MPC, when he dropped that expansion pack, I was actually retiring from YouTube. I was like, I'm not doing YouTube no more. I'm out of here. He dropped the expansion pack, and it made me so excited. I made like 3 beats that day, I think, original too, or like within like 2 days. So now I was like, saying, for you getting me back into music and staying on YouTube, I'll put you on this record. So he has a 50-50 split on that record with me. So when I make money, he makes money off of it. That's what friends do. You know what I'm saying? You don't be greedy. So anyway, that joint is not it's called I See Through You. So the joint I See Through You, that joint, I made that record, that instrumental, but it's a record. You know what I'm saying? It's a song, it's out. I made that without even knowing how to make soul music. I made that because it was just in my soul to make the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just sat there and I played it out. I listened to the keys, I listened to the sound, I played, and I got something that was pretty dope. I was like, all right, this is it. You know what I'm saying? I made it like that. So I didn't even know how to make soul music, but that joint is like a soul record. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people they cut themselves way too short. And I don't like it when they think they dope, and then I don't like when other people think they dope, and I don't like the argument when they think sampling is easier than creating original. I just don't like it, man. I don't think it's all facts. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's real. All right, so let's add the effects here. This is simple. This is a stab. So your stab sounds, you don't need too much effects on it. It's just add some emotion to your record. So let's play it. And now let's go and get the EQ on it. You hear the difference? Take the EQ off. This is without the EQ. This is the original sound. Put the EQ back on. Do you see when I cut how much I gain? Just listen to it. When I cut, look at how much I gained in the sound. I cut around like I tell you, like that 500 hertz. I told you around this area. It's a lot of mud in here. You start cutting that frequency, you'll free up your sound. Trust me on that. And then this right here, you don't see the sound moving right here. You see the sound? There's no sound moving in this area. But this air here, this that hiss sound, it's there, it's present. But it's not enough to bring up the like the animation right here, but it's there. So watch. You hear the mud? Listen to the mud that's in the sound. Listen to the mud. There's mud in there. And it's air at the top end. Don't need it. Let's cut it. Freed up the sound. All right, now, since it's a stab, I want to put the stab in motion because you need dynamics in your record. You don't want everything to be like just going left, you know what I'm saying, just the whole time. So now let's bring up our panning tool. This is another Waves audio plugin. Now I got my stabs, Tremolo Strings, bouncing left and right, but in a nice subtle way. And it's centered the sound. It's like right here, but it's like zoom, back and forth. You hear it in the left ear and the right ear. But that's not the only thing. I want the sound to move even more. What you want to do with stabs is create like a delayed ping pong effect. So let's bring in some delays. Super Tap, another Waves plugin. You know, as you can see, I love their plugins. But this is Super Tap 6. So this is gonna be like 6 delays. And I like the chorus reflections preset. So let me turn this on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we had some tea. Ghetto Styles loves apple juice. I like orange juice. And yeah, I'm glad he got me to stay too, you know what I mean? He's the one who pushed me on my album as well. He's like the one who's really behind me on that, you know? So if you listen to the sound now, the Super Tap adds a chorus effect to it, to the tremolo, right? But it's a little bit of a delay after the sound. It's like a ring, like a small delay. You can hear it. It's not a bouncing delay. See, a lot of people think you always have to use like that boom, 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 like that bouncy delay. No, there's different types of delays. You know what I'm saying? A delay that like it might delay the sound a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like a reverb tail, but it's a delay. It's not a reverb. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy like how this. You got to play with it, man. You just have to play with everything and listen to stuff. Then you figure out which preset you like the most. What does this? What does that? You know what I'm saying? It's weird. All right, so now we got the sound going, and then I'm gonna bring in the reverb. Got the R verb again. Nice Hall effect. And I told you the reverb pushes everything north and south. So bring it up. Now, this is for you, Jezza. I told you, it's all about preference. This is a Hall reverb, right? But the Hall reverb is not super duper wet. I pulled it all the way down to 28.6. Look, 28.6 wet right here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not at 50, not at 75. It's at 28.6. I could even bring it down a little lower if I wanted to. So that is giving me a little bit of reverb to sit that string sound back into the mix. So if we play both of these together, yo, it's so epic, son. Do you hear it? You gotta hear the stabs are moving, like they're right in your face, but they're like moving like this a little bit. The strings are like giving you the emotion behind everything. Like, don't say somebody's in pain or something's happening. The strings, those strings, it's like that give you the tension. Like, oh, something's about to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just with those two sounds alone, I have my cinematic vibe in the 8-bar loop. This is like a movie scene right here. Just two sounds and mixing those two sounds together. It's crazy. Like, why people can't? I don't understand why people sample so much when they can just do this. I got two sounds. I can make a hip hop track out of this right now if I want to. Throw some drums over this and have somebody rap over it and it's done already. You know what I mean? All right, those two sounds are done. Let's go to the third sound. So this is a counter melody. So this is supposed to balance this. Now, by itself, it might not sound like much, you know what I'm saying? But when you put all three together, yo, that's crazy right there. So so now let's go to what's on this one. Let's see a track 3. Go to 3 really quick and see what's on it. Yeah, so do these have the same? Let me check it out. Okay. So let's do this by itself. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. Let me loop it at this part. Okay, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so we're up to the bass. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. Okay, so with those 2 strings right there, I put them on the same track because they're the same strings. So I thought I did something different, but I didn't do anything different to that. So that's fine. So those 2, so track 2 and 3 is done. We don't need to loop this. All right, so track 2 and 3 is done. So 1, 2, and 3 is done. So 1, I showed you the mixing on that. 2 and 3 has the same mixing. So now let's go to the bass. All right, let's do the bass by itself. Big, fat, in your face, cinematic. I played it out, totally original. You know what I'm saying? Totally original. Even this part. So I'll give you a quick little tip. When you're playing your bass sounds, don't only stay to the bottom notes. Don't stay down to like the lower octave. Play your bass sound, okay? Play your bass sound, but slide your hand up to the top keys and play around with them, okay? So let me open. You never know what you might open up. So I want to get to the bass. The bass. This the bass? Oh, okay. This is, yeah, the bass, right? Okay, I think I'm too high in octave. Yeah, so. Okay, my computer's a little laggy right now. Whatever. So anyway, so this sound, and this sound is in the high frequency range, but the bass notes are down here. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people will stay on the bass. They'll stay down here. They make their bass like, oh yeah, I got my bass. My bass is nice and fat. You know what I'm saying? My bass is dope. My bass is the best bass ever. You know what I'm saying? But they forget they sell themselves short. They don't really take music into its totality. Like they stop there. Like a lot of people, they stop. I don't know why they stop. Like I always slide my hand up to see what the sound is at the top of the bass because it might be epic. So if you listen to my bass sound, the way that I make it carry over, the way I make the loop carry over is not with the bass. It's with the high frequency part of the bass. Because I want to add dynamic and characteristics. I want to tell a story. I wanted to have movement to it. So listen to the bass at the end. That's the high end of the bass, me playing that out. What's the characteristics going to give it? Boom. And that makes that loop so flawless, man. It's so good, man. Like, I can't even pat myself on the back enough, yo. But that, I literally couldn't get that from sampling from somebody, man. That was in me. I played that, you know what I mean? I felt that. So now let's throw the EQ on it. I told you, cutting is more. So I do the EQ first. You see that? You barely hear the sound now. That's how much I cut it, dude. Let's pull it out. Let me show you. Look at what I did to the bass sound. Look at what I just did to that bass sound right there. People will think I am absolutely crazy and insane to basically delete the bass, but you don't need all that extraness. This stuff right here in this frequency range is mud. It's mud. You don't need it. It's literally mud. This stuff right here was just it was punching through the frequency. It was good. It was a good tone, but it's punchy. Look at it. Look at it jumping. Look how high it is. See how high? You don't need that. The bottom end is supposed to be a rumble in your belly. It's supposed to be a rumble to make people feel it. Now, if you're doing deep hip hop, yeah, you might want it to be a little tough. You know what I'm saying? You want that bass to move. But I'm making a cinematic loop here. So if people pay attention, the cinematic loop should have a bass in it, but it shouldn't be the end all be all to your bass. When you go make the hip hop record, you're going to add a bass line under this one to make it stronger, but it's a hip hop bass, but it's going to follow the same pattern though. So like right now, if I was to export out the MIDI and I load the MIDI into the MPC and just load up a couple bass sounds, it just fit perfectly. Or I could just play it out myself, just play the same notes that I played, but with a different hip hop bass to tuck it up under this cinematic vibe. So don't be afraid to put a cinematic bass line in and think it has to be a hip hop bass. Don't do that. To me, I don't think you should do that. I think you should put a cinematic bass to go along with your cinematic loop, but don't make that cinematic bass overpower the loop. Then when you go to make the hip hop record, add another bass to it. And then if you don't like the bass that's in the loop, then all you gotta do is EQ it out and then add your hip hop bass, but you'll still have that you'll still have a little bit of the mid-tone rumble in the loop. It's all about how you mess around with this flavor, yo. I'm telling you, y'all, I'm not playing with this mixing game, dude. I'm all on it, son. I'm not, yo. Anyway, so now I cut. Now I'm gonna compress it though. So let's bring in the R compressor. You hear that? Do you hear that? I slammed this joint with that compressor. I slammed it. And now I'm gonna throw the R bass on there. Get that little rumble in there. Get that R bass rumble. Sounding mean right now. So I cut. Then I compress. And then I threw the R bass in there to give it that nice low end rumble. I got my bass. And it's cinematic. Now I throw another trick for you. I throw a reverb on it. And I throw the reverb on it to make it cinematic, airy, vibey, fit the scene. Not too much. My reverb is at like 5 on the bass. You don't want to put a heavy like pad type reverb. Just put a little bit of reverb. It's going to give it like a puffy sound, like a puffy dark, you know what I'm saying, like cloudy sound. That's what you want. Like you don't want too much reverb. Just you're actually adding like a little bit of mud, kind of, if you want to think of it in that way, you know what I'm saying? But it's good, you know what I mean? Then I took the wider effect, okay? And then I put it out like 30% or something like that, yeah. So it's a little bit wider, so the bass is filling up the spectrum, you know what I'm saying? Now that's a dark, deep, cinematic bass. Now let's take all this off. This is the original bass. I like the distortion that's in this a little bit, and I was thinking about using it too. So I was thinking about taking the track and duplicating it, and taking the second track, cutting out all the bottom end, leaving only like that fizzle, that distortion in it, and then actually enhancing that by maybe putting a reverb on that or something. I don't know. I would have to play with it. So I was thinking about keeping that, but then I decided not to. I was like, let me just leave it with that low end type bass. You know what I mean? So that's when I started cutting, boosting, putting that rumble in there, throwing a little bit of reverb and widening it up. So that's the bass. But if we put them together, I like good mud. You're funny, dude. I can't with you. Do you hear the sound? So that bass is full. That bass is taking up, you know what I'm saying, the spectrum. But the best part about this mixing, if you really, really pay attention, is that you can hear all the sounds, and you hear them in their elements, and you hear them in like the realm or like the space of what they're supposed to be doing. Like you could literally hear, because this is what all the cutting does. You make it room for everything. You see, you hear where this belongs. You literally hear where this belongs in the mix. You literally hear what this string belongs. These tremolo strings. It's letting you know something's happening. Something's about to happen. It's right in your face, but it's still tucked back a little bit. You hear that. Then you hear the counter tremolo strings. But see, they're tucked down just decibel level, just below it. They tuck down just below it. Listen to that. Just below it. And the bass is now is letting you know, like, oh, something just happened, or something about this is it's real serious now. Or the action scene is going on. Like, take like it might be that when the bass come in, now that it's slow motion. So now the action scenes in slow motion, and they're shooting their guns, and the bullets are going in. You know, the slow motion is like pow, pow, and they're diving, jumping over tables and shit like that. It's like pow, 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 but the bullets is going slow, and it's hitting people and shit. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. So now let's work on the last sound really quick, and then we jump onto the master. So. Can't forget the high frequency. Now this sounds dope too. Watch this. I'm putting it in the mix. Now, I can't hold you on that. I like that sound by itself. It sounds dope. But the only problem is what I was going for. I wasn't going for that sound to be up in your face, chorusy sound. At first I was. At first I said, I want the high string to be my chorus when I make the hip hop record. But then I said, you know what? No, I don't want it to be my chorus. I just wanted to add the high ambient sound, the high ambient feel to the record. So now if I want to, I can go back and add another high sound when I make the hip hop record. But anyway, so I started to cut. Cut. You gotta understand. Cut. Look at the EQ. Look at the EQ. Do you see the EQ? Okay. So let's play the sound by itself now, and let's bring in the EQ. A lot of people gonna say, well, you just messed up the sound. You cut most of the sound out. You got rid of it. Well, yeah, I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I gonna tell you? Like, I didn't. I did, but it's for a specific reason. If you understand mixing, you understand you're gonna bring some of that characteristics back, but you're getting rid of some of the extra artifacts that it might have sounded pleasing, but it's not really pleasing. It's tricking you. Like, I got my rolling keyboard sitting over there, right? I was supposed to hook it up like 3 weeks ago so I could start pulling some sounds off of it. But if I play that rolling keyboard for you right now, there's gonna be artifacts in the circuitry. There's gonna be artifacts in there, and I'm gonna have to cut. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that. So this brings me back to my argument. The audio engineers or producers back in those days that made those records, those hit records, they had to do this. They had to cut, boost, all this and that. Listen for hours on end to make the record. They had to do that, right? The same thing I'm talking about right now, they had to do that. So if I was to sample from them, I'm taking their hard-earned work. That's my biggest argument, dude. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it myself. I have to learn how to do it myself. Otherwise, I won't feel accomplished in anything. That's why I know how to do so many things. I can work with the MPC. I can work with the software. You know what I'm saying? I could design my own websites from scratch. I could do my own graphic design. I could do my own video editing. I can work in 3D software. Give me 3D Studio Max. I'll put something together for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Cinema 4D, I'll put something together for you right now. 3D software. You know what I'm saying? That shit's not easy. That shit hard as hell. You got to really sit there and know how to fucking do that shit. But, you know, I had to teach myself how to do everything. I don't want nobody to say anything for me. You know what I'm saying? Unless they really, really had to. But but when they, at the end of the day, they be like, well, damn, Dynasty know how to do so much. He let somebody do something for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like somebody had to do my graphics. Somebody had to make my beats. Somebody had to write my rhymes. Somebody had to sing a hook for me. You know what I'm saying? No. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to contribute some way, somehow, some form. But with Dynasty, I contribute I'm almost a finished product to a T. The only thing I can't do right now is mix my own vocals. I don't have the knowledge fully. I don't really know how to go in and to make my vocals sound dope as hell. Like Ghetto Styles does that for me. I give him praises all the time. The dude is a genius when it comes to this shit, dude. I told him straight to the face, like, dude, you are the man. All those records that I'm on, he mixed my vocals. It's the only thing I don't know how to do yet, but I'm going to get there. But anyway, so cut. So listen to the sound. Now, there's a resonant frequency in here. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. Right around, see what this 5 is? Around like 3,000, almost 4,000. There's a resonant frequency in here. But I don't want to cut it, because it'll take away the sound. So, one of my handy and trusted tools is the F6 EQ. This thing is badass. If you don't have it, I would suggest it. I'm not telling people to go get anything. I don't want people to say, oh, Dynasty told me to get this. No, I would suggest it because of what the functionality it can do. Put it on. So it has this way of cutting a sound, but not cutting the sound all the way out. So every time the sound jumps over a certain threshold, it'll dip it back down. It's like a compressor, but in the EQ form. So I got the threshold right here to 21.5. The attack is all the way down because I want the EQ to start working right away. The range is 8.1, and the band so the band basically is the Q right over here is only affecting this frequency right here. Is making sure it doesn't jump too crazy because it was, I don't know if you can hear it. I have professional headphones. These cost me like $600, but I bought them because I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it the right way. And yeah. Now I'm gonna throw on the orchid. So stop it really quick. Since I was cutting, I wanted to bring back in some of the high frequencies. So that's why I threw on the orchid. This is a chorus effect. But the preset that I use brings in some high frequencies. So I cut, but I add right back into it. You know what I'm saying? You hear that? Do you see? Do you hear how nice and pleasing that sounds now? I cut that resonant frequency. I got rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Just by dipping it down. I cut the air out of the sound with the EQ, so all the air right here is gone. And you can see how, see the air that's jumping up right here? It's right in this area. Can you see right here in this area? Above the AK? That's all garbage. You don't need it. Then I cut all this mud down here. Then I cut the resonant frequency right here. So I'm good with that. I cleaned up my audio. I don't think it needs a compressor because the way I played it out was pretty fine. And now I just don't want the orchid to bring it back in some of those high sounds, and I'm gonna throw a doubler effect on it. And doubler is just gonna make it a little bit more fuller. That's it. It just doubles the sound. That's it. A little fuller. And then I throw a reverb on it to sit it back in the mix. A whole preset around like 50, 54, something like that, 55. You know what I mean? Listen to how it sits back in the mix with the reverb. It's thick because of the doubler. I brought the high sounds back in because of the chorus effect. I cut all the mud. I killed the resonant frequency, and it's sitting back because of that reverb. Nice whole reverb. Take the reverb off. Put the reverb on. You see how it panned it back a little bit? Let's take all this off. It's a dope ass sound, but now let's put everything back on. It's so smooth. It's so cinematic. It sits perfectly in the mix. Let's play the mix now. You hear that high string? Listen. Listen to you now. See, I still retain my high sounds. They're still in there, but they're sitting so nice, not overpowering the mix. Now, this I love it like this too, because now it gives me the flexibility. If I'm making a hip hop record, I could take stuff in and out. So let's take the bass out and just leave this playing. Come on, man. Now let's bring the bass in whenever we want. Let's bring the highs in. Yo, I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to the chat because I'm kind of like talking. I don't want to lose my train of thought as I'm breaking down this whole process. So I will check out the chat. But think about that, man. Listen to how clean the sound is, how everything is separated. You can hear every element of each sound. Come on, man. So let's go to the master now. I have to warn you, my computer's not that powerful, so it might start crackling and popping. But if that happens, I'll just change the buffer size, or but it should be okay. We'll see. So I got this is my mastering tool right here. I mean, a lot of people use Ozone. Ozone is dope, it's fire. But for some reason, when I use Ozone, it doesn't give me the sound I'm looking for sometimes. I don't know. I think the artificial intelligence, when I use that, I'm not using it properly. It might just be me. You always got to look at yourself first before you look at the next person or something else. I always look at myself. It might just be me when it comes to Ozone. I don't know how to use it properly. But I really like this mastering plugin right here. So you could mess with the highs, the input level. The magic is like the mid-tone, you know what I'm saying, in the body. Between the body and the magic, you get some cool sounds. The low frequencies, you could push it. This is how you know what I'm saying, give it a boost and stuff. And you can do your stereo image in it as well. So yeah, I don't know about the Ozone. It's just something, it just throws me off. If something's throwing you off, use a tool that works for you. I'll say that. So hopefully this doesn't start popping and cracking. But and I put it on. Yeah. Let me turn down the volume, because this is a mastering, so it's going to give it that boost, you know what I mean? So with the mastering, as you play the sound, you're just gonna. I started with the low end on this one, then I moved up. So I did the low end, I did the body, then I moved the input a little bit, then I did the highs, and then I jumped down to the magic, and then I did the push. So I did the lowest right here, then I did the body, then I did the input. The input is just basically the sound. You know what I'm saying, how much you're gonna push through. So I did 2.0. Then I messed around with the highs because I don't want to lose the highs. If you boost the lows, you're probably going to lose some of the highs. So I brought some highs back in, but I wanted that mid-tone sound to come through. So I pushed the magic all the way up. And then this is my overall gain right here. My push, then I pushed it. So the difference of the sound is drastic. So if I was when I put the mastering plugin on and I pressed play, it was way too loud because it's going to push it. You know what I'm saying? This joint, it's called the pusher for a reason. And this is the initial preset. Now it has its own presets, but I wanted to do it myself. I didn't want to use a preset for the master. I mean, it's my sound. I should be able to master it. But then after I used my mastering tool, I compressed it. So it's all about how you go about working. So let's throw the compressor on it. Yeah, magic is like it gives like it's like a saturator. It's like a saturation, you know what I'm saying? It gives you like a good mid-tone type of body. It puts a little magic on it, you know what I'm saying? It makes it sound good. It's like a goodenizer. It's a maximizer. Not maximizer, a saturator. It's like a little saturation inside of your mastering. It's magic. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't create the plugins. I don't know the terminology, but it sounds good. If it sounds good, it sounds good. So then I compressed it. So here's the compressor. Not too much. So when I compress on the master, I don't do a fast attack. I'm saying I don't do a fast attack. I kind of do a fast release. It's like it's kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? Of like, you have to like know what you're attacking. So like what I wanted to attack with the compressor on this was the bass. So I used the bass preset, which gives me like this nice, it boosts up the bass on the final mix, basically. A little bit though, not too much, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I did with that compressor. But then I do I do the Renaissance aux on it also, and this has a mastering bus preset. So let me show you what I did. So put this in the middle. So I used my mastering tool first, then I used my compressor, but my compressor is bringing up the bass even more. Now, mind you, I just boosted up the bass on my mastering tool. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty high. But I wanted to do another gentle compression on the bass. So whatever frequencies are like from like 80 hertz all the way until like, I don't know, maybe like 500 to like, you know, almost near 1,000 hertz. I wanted in the entire mix, I wanted to enhance them. So whatever bass sounds that might have been on track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, track 5, whatever that could have been there, because some of them, they don't have no bass at all. But whatever is there, I wanted to squeeze all that together, like bring it all together in the mix, in the final mix. That's what I'm doing on the master. I'm trying to enhance certain sounds on the final master. If I want to bring up the bass more, well, I'm going to compress this, but you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking about. Then I got my overall, my mastering bus compressor. You know, so you could and in your software you probably got like a compressor, and then they have a preset for master. You know what I'm saying? Just slap that shit on and see what it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So that's what I'm doing right here. But then here comes the cool part. So after I compress and all that stuff, I'm bringing in more sounds. I'm bringing in more artifacts. So I'm bringing up the floor. There's a floor, okay? But I'm bringing the floor up. The floor is touch. I'm doing this with the master. The floor and the ceiling is coming together like this in the mix, the whole entire mix. So, but I want to enhance that though in a way that's so unique. So let me throw in the RC20 next for you. So throw this on. This is my mix so far. Now I'm gonna throw on the RC20. Do you hear that? Let me take the RC20 off. Do you hear all the air? Listen to all the space, all the air, the high frequency sounds. It's too much. It's too much. Throw the RC20 on. See how that cut all that high stuff that I don't need? The sound is still there. It pushed it back. It did push it back. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm going to throw on another RC20 that brings in that brightness again. Watch. It's very subtle but nice. This is without the two RC20s on it. This is with the two RC20s on it. You can really, really hear the depth of the sound. It sounds like a movie scene, man. Could I cut a lot of those, the airy sounds, using the RC20, not even using an EQ. You gotta know your tools, man. But now, I'm gonna throw a doubler on top of this. I'm gonna double the entire loop. The entire loop, I'm gonna double it. The doubler is on right now. So the entire loop is being doubled. Crazy, yo. We close these. So, and what did I tell you at the beginning of the stream? I said this. I said you're gonna cut. Somebody's calling. Oh, you lost it. Oh, you gotta charge the phone, dude. I lost my photo. What I tell you, so even on the master, think about this. I really paid attention to this, yo. Track 1, first thing I did was cut to clean my sound up, add my effects. Track 2, same thing. Track 3, same thing. Even on the bass, I cut so much of that bass just to clean it up. I'm cleaning, then add some effects to it. Then you come all the way to the master track, and what am I doing? I'm boosting, enhancing, then I'm compressing, and then I'm throwing like all this crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like even on the master, like, a lot of people don't even touch their master. They so afraid to even put anything on that master. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 RC20s, and then after I put the 2 RC20s to fine tune the sound to get it to that, I'm talking about, that's so cinematic. Where was that? I put a doubler on it, and if you listen to it with the doubler, you will hear the sound is doubling. It is doubling. It's not a delay. See, a lot of people would think it's a delay. It's not a delay effect. It's a double effect. So it's like, depending on what preset you use, if you use a preset, a double can like it can double the sound, but it could be off a couple semitones. So like it's almost like it's like a delay, like a, you know, it's kind of weird to say. I can't really explain it. You have to play around with it yourself. You have to listen to your sounds. Like, just sit there and listen. Like, a lot of people, they do something, they move on to the next. Stop doing that. Then I'll listen to a sound for like 15 minutes. I'll sit back in my seat and be like, damn, this sounds crazy. Bobby, listen to it. Like, oh, that's just bouncing right there. Oh, I hear that little airy frequency back there. That's just dope. Well, how can I enhance that? Let me boost. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be listening. I'll be like, oh, maybe I could delay that. You know, that's how my mind works. So the double is on, right? Yes, on. This is what I want y'all to. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand right now. If you listen to the sound, you still hear my, you still hear my original sound. You still hear all the stuff that I made original, but it's sitting in the tracks in such a way that it's all blending together so well. It's cinematic. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. It's sitting. Then now, if I take this into the MPC, I'm going to beat the shit out this motherfucking sample because I made it myself. I know what to do with it. I know where every, you know what I'm saying? I could, if I wanted to, listen, if I really, really wanted to get down to the nitty gritty, I could export out each track, but I could export out each, let's say, bar or like half a bar. So I could export out each note if I wanted to and throw it all in the MPC on the pads and just start making the craziest track you ever thought of because I did it all myself. If this was a sample, well, I can't take out that A note. I can't take out that C note there. You know what I'm saying? I can't use it. I can't take it out and really use it. You would literally have to like, you would have like so many EQs going on just to cut this, cut that, just to get down to that note. I don't have to do that. I got the shit right here already laid out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. But, and if I wanted to do that and cut, if I was to cut that sample up right here, if I was to like, I'll show you like what I mean by cut. If I was to take all this, cut, and, well, I can't do it. Well, okay. Hold on. 1 second. If I was to say like, if I want just, no, stop. I don't want to do that. I did want to do that, but that's not what I want to do. Okay. If I want to take just these notes right here, if I want to take that note and export that note out right there, and then put that on the pad in the MPC and just beat that note up like to create a rhythm or something like that, I could do that. If I want to take just these 3 notes, you know what I'm saying, right here, if I want to just cut that, and export that out, I could do that. Or if I want to just export just one note, if I want to export that note and put it on the pads in the MPC, I can do that to make a hip hop record. You can't do that shit if you sampling, dude. You literally cannot do that if you're sampling. You cannot do that, man. You know how hard that shit would be to, oh my God, man. So, yeah. So the last thing we're going to put on this, and hopefully the computer doesn't stutter, is my bad boy. Load up the CLA Epic. The last thing I'm gonna put on this whole mix, and the whole thing is done. the master is complete. So I got the pusher was the first thing. Then I compressed it, but I brought up the bass a little bit more. Then the Renaissance, you know what I'm saying, aux, the master bus compression. Then I threw on 2 RC20s. One was to give me like that vinyl effect, you know what I'm saying, like the record. The other one was to bring back in some of the brightness, you know what I'm saying? So I did like a distortion, bright tubes, to bring in a little bit more of that brightness back in, you know what I'm saying? Because when you throw on the vinyl, it darkens it a little bit like a record player. And then from there, I threw on a doubler to double my entire track, my entire loop, you know what I'm saying? To give it like more of an ambient feel. And then I threw on the last thing is CLA Epic, which is throwing it through a tape, you know, like a tape reel, like the old school tapes, you know what I'm saying? Giving that tape effect. So I'm throwing the delays through the tape, but then it's going through a whole reverb. So crazy, man. Hopefully it doesn't stutter. Yo, it sounds. Let me export. What I'll do is I'll export out the sound, and then we just listen to it in the audio file, so we don't have to listen to the pops. I just duplicated it. Let me export this out really quick. So yeah. All right, so we'll export it out, and then we'll just play it and we'll listen to it. And then what I'll do is, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna export this out so we have it. Then I'll go back and I'll take off all the effects again, and we'll compare. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that's crazy. Let me jump in this chat too. Yo, what up, Wigs? What up? So yeah, thank you, everybody, Jezza, John, Wiggs, for tuning in. Appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it, to be honest with you. And how long was this? It wasn't too long, but if people watch it, they'll get to see some stuff, man. They'll get to see, like, I guess, a cool live stream type tutorial. But mixing is key, man. Mixing is vital, but understanding the tools that you are using, not being afraid to do certain things. Like, I put a 5% reverb on my bass. Like, a lot of people, they don't do that. I'm trying to soften the reverb up, but then also I'm trying to soften the bass up, but then also add a wider effect to make it full, so it's cinematic and it sits up under everything. And if I didn't even go over the dB levels either, like on the mixer track. So if you look over here in this area, can you see? Yeah, in this area, see, I mess around with that a little bit. Most of the time when I'm mixing, I don't even touch that though. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, sometimes in my mix, you could literally see all of the sliders are all the way at the top, because you could actually cut and boost with like EQ and compression. So you technically don't even need to even mess with the sliders. You know what I mean? But I just mess with the sliders. I brought them down somewhat, whatever, because when I was reason why those sliders are like that, to be honest with you too, is because when I'm creating on the fly, I bring the sliders down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm moving fast. So since I'm moving fast, I'll use the sliders. But if I'm not like live streaming and stuff like that, or recording a video, I'm just in my crib just making a beat by myself, sometimes I don't even touch the sliders. I just use compression and EQ to cut and boost. And it's really unique when you do it that way, because you really start understanding what the compressor is doing, what the EQ is doing. It's really, really unique if you do it that way. I'm telling you. If you just don't even think about using those sliders and then you start messing around with those tools. But the only problem with that is that you will have to remember, if you want to change the decibel level, which is the volume, the dB level, if you want to change it, you will have to go back to that plugin and mess with it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to keep the same timbre, like, you want to keep the same timbre, if you want to keep the same characteristics, you have to go back to that plugin and mess with the dB level, the volume level. You can't, if you do it with the slider, you might not have the same timbre. It's weird. It's It's weird to think of it that way. Like you'll turn it down, you'll turn the volume down with the slider, and it might sound good. But if you messing with a compressor is gonna either let some more of the sound in a certain way or close the sound in a certain way. It's a timbre thing. You got to pay attention to this stuff. It's not just jump in and just do shit. You don't do that. You have to understand. If I use the compressor for my volume, I got to go back in and adjust that compressor, because that compressor is opening and shutting in a certain way. It's moving that sound in a certain way. The EQ is moving the sound in a certain way. If I like that timbre of that compressor EQ, I got to stay with that. But don't go fuck with the damn slider. You know what I'm saying? But if you start with the sliders, then so you already know the sliders is your way of doing the decibel level. So you don't have to mess with that EQ and stuff like that too much. All about preference. There's 100 different ways of doing it, man. You have to learn your way. I know my way. My way is, you know what I'm saying, this, that, bam, and then just trying shit. I don't care. I'll throw a reverb on anything. Give me a reverb. You know what I'm saying? But then I know how to fine tune it. Like, damn, how can I get that reverb to sit nice on that snare? How can I get that reverb to sit nice on that hi-hat? How can I get that reverb to sit nice on that cymbal crash? You know what I'm saying? Because I need a little bit on that. I mean, how can I get that reverb to bounce or whatever? I didn't even show you how to like route. I didn't do any routing in this. Everything is just done on a track. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to, I could have done routing. I didn't do routing because routing is pretty dope though. I ain't gonna hold you on that. Routing is I like routing, especially when I do it in FL Studio because it's easier than messing around in the MPC. But it's cool, man. This stuff is fun. That's all I have to say. It's hard though. It's not easy. It's not easy. This thing is taking forever, man. I think I put it on for too long. I copied it too long for too many loops. I don't know where. Pretty funny, man. Pretty funny, though. Yeah, Wigs, man. We were just going over some mixing. I wanted to show people how I created this melody. And then I made the melody yesterday. So yesterday's live stream, the melody is there. The way I created the melody is there. So you can watch from beginning to end on how I compiled this composition. It's an 8-bar loop. It's pretty simple, but you could take this 8-bar loop and put it in anything. You could put it in a movie scene if you wanted to, quick. You know what I mean? It doesn't even and it's not even, to be honest with you, it's not even done. The track is only an 8-bar loop, but for a cinematic movie scene, I would need to do more. I can't cut myself short and just be like, oh, 8 bars, I'm done. I'm good with the 8 bars. Yeah, baby. No. For the cinematic movie scene, I would do more to this. And on top of that, I would just cut. So I told you, cutting is more. People don't understand when I say that cutting is more. Right now, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tracks. I could make a record out of those 5 tracks, a cinematic record. All I gotta do is at certain point in times, take the bass out. It's gonna change the dynamic of the record. It's gonna change the dynamics of that movie scene. Take out track 5, which has all the high notes in it. Now it's gonna make the next part of the movie seem a little bit more dark. You know what I'm saying? So technically I could map this out to a movie scene right now with this 8-bar loop by just cutting, taking sounds out or putting sounds back in. And then I could go back in here and play some strings. So if I want to play some chords to enhance what I got going on here, I could do that. Play some chords really quick. And now I have another 8-bar loop. So I'll have 2 8-bar loops, which is 16 bars. Now I could take those 2 8-bar loops that they work together. They sound good together. They made with all the same sounds, but now I could mix and match. I could take stuff in and out, pull, blah, 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 blah. And I'm basically explaining to you how I do Ghostwave music. That's literally how I do Ghostwave music. I create these pieces here. I take stuff in and out while I'm making a hip hop track. I'm pulling stuff. I'm putting the bass in, taking the bass out. I'm putting the highs in, taking them out. I'm putting some mid-tone sounds in, I'm taking them out. I'm mixing and mangling the sounds. And then I add my percussion and drums and sound effects over the top of it, which gives me Ghostwave. So I'm basically telling you what Ghostwave is. Cinematic sounds from scratch, put them into the MPC though, and have everything separated so now I could play with the different parts. They're already airy. They already have all the cloud, the puffy sounds to it. Ghostwave music is cinematic air hop. Now I add all my percussion to it, and I make sure that my percussion sits in the mix perfectly, so I have to mix that, and that's it. So I'm basically explaining to you what I do with ghost wave music, but without saying this is ghost wave music. Because I'm not worried. I'm not thinking ghost wave right now. I'm thinking ghost wave when I put it into MPC and I start beating that shit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm making my track. But right now I'm just thinking cinematic. You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference. So if somebody was to come to me right now and say, hey, I want you to because my name is Jamel. So hey, Jamel, can you please come down to the studio and make this cinematic piece for all we need is like probably like 8 to 16 bars, but we got like this dark scene going on right now, and yeah, we'll give you work for hire money. We're gonna keep all the percentages and royalties and shit like that. You know, so you're not gonna get paid like how you know what I'm saying you should get paid. But could you please come down and help us out? Like they how they royally fuck you in the ass. You know what I'm saying? When you're working in the job, put me onto that shit. When you working in the game industry and the movie industry, right? So anyway, I'll go down there, but all right, cool, I got you. Now make my 8 to 16 bar loop. Probably take me, a day to make it, or whatever, I don't know, a couple hours. And then boom, mix it down, and they got it. And they pay me my money, and I walk away. So, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, dude. But you can't do that when you fucking sampling every day, or you taking MIDI chord packs, or you fucking taking loop packs. All these guys, you know how many people giving away loop packs? Get a loop pack for $1, or a loop pack for $9.99, a loop pack for $39.99, or there's amazing sales on loop packs, and all these producers fucking grab the loop packs and they call themselves producers. You're not fucking producers. You ain't produce shit. You know what I'm saying? You just technically you should just fucking be all. To me, everybody should be fucking splitting royalties. You ask me, dog. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just everybody doing the same stuff. Now they might say my argument is not valid because they might say like, oh, when I take that sample though, I make it my own. I flip the shit out that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I change it. So now it's mine because I changed it. And I'm looking at them like, but you didn't come up with the original idea first. You know what I'm saying? You didn't create the original idea. You didn't mix the original idea. You didn't even have the talent to come up with that shit by yourself. So don't give me just because you took somebody else's talent and rearranged it. Then now you're the best producer. Don't give me that shit. I can't with people. I can't. I can't. Literally, I cannot, dude. Don't get me started, man. I just found out that Jay-Z didn't create 99 Problems. I literally just found that shit out on Instagram. Ice-T said it. That's Ice-T fucking song. I was like, oh my, see, you never know, son. They will never tell you the secrets of the music industry. Ice-T made, Ice-T made, I got 99 Problems with a bitch ain't one. Ice-T made that. Ice-T made that shit, son. Ice-T made that. And it was another rap artist on the record with him. It wasn't even Jay-Z. It was Ice-T and another rap artist. I got 99 Problems with a bitch ain't one. So Chris Rock, I think it was Chris Rock, heard the record and said, "Yo, let Jay-Z do this. Let Jay-Z do the song. Let Jay-Z do the song." So Jay-Z made the song, but never gave Ice-T credit. I just found that on Twitter. Ice-T said it out his mouth. He said that messed up that he didn't give me credit. Basically, he said, that's not. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You at least give the person who originally made the shit credit. Give him credit. If Ice-T, if someday on this earth, Ice-T said, "Man, I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one," and then that was just a saying, and he made a song out of it, and then you go and take that shit and make a hit record, but it was a hit record before that because that line, the line itself is a hit record. The line it doesn't matter what Jay-Z says on that song. It doesn't matter. The one fucking line is a hit record. I got 99 problems with a bitch ain't one. Hit me. Nigga, I could fucking, if I would have made that record, it'd been a hit song. Because everybody be like, "Oh, that's just such a dope ass fucking line." So when I see the shit like that, I'm like, yo, even the biggest artists in the world be taken from other people. They be, you know what I'm saying, sampling all the time. Like, listen to Jay-Z's first couple albums. This shit is all fucking samples, dude. So a lot of people, they pray, like you get people praise because they perfect their craft. But don't give them like, oh, they the GOAT, they the gods. If you really think about it, go back and listen to Jay-Z's albums. original album, all this earlier shit. Go look at the album credits and look at all the samples that's on there. So the people that they sample from are the real GOATs. Those are the real musicians, if you fucking ask me, because they made those records that got sampled. That's my point. That's how I see it, dude. That's why I don't really like sampling. That's why I try to create original. I want somebody to, you sample me, man. Sample me. There we go. Let's listen to it. That shit sounds pretty badass. It's so full, so thick, so cinematic. You can hear all the elements. It's crazy. Now let's listen to the original. Now, that right there is the type of shit I be hearing on YouTube. That right there is the type of shit I be hearing on YouTube. And then I look in the chat room, everybody, yo, that shit fire. Yo, you the dope, son. Ain't nobody better than you. You the best, but oh, shit, oh, fire emoji, bombs going off. Boom, 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 boom. Airplanes, jets taking off. Fucking the dynamite stick. Dynamite. Fucking like 30,000 comments saying this shit, and this shit be sounding like, now don't get you wrong, I like my loop, but listen to the mix of it. There's no mix on it. This is the fucking be on YouTube every goddamn day. Every day, so it's fucking pathetic, man. I swear to God, man. Alright, that's that. Now let's listen to the final mix. Okay, you can stop. You can stop now. You can stop, okay. Yo, do you hear how epic that sounds? That just sounds crazy, son. Like, seriously, like, yo, son, I can't right now. Hold on, give me a second on Twitch. Give me a second. I gotta fix my camera. Shit went blurry. My bad. Yeah, here we go. We back. You mean like, do you mean like take my MPC outside of my house and do a standalone stream? Do you mean like that? Because my MPC is right here. It's like sitting right in front of me. Let me know what you mean. MPC right here. I mean, it's on. All I gotta do is open up the software and it start working. Cause I got it plugged up to the computer right now because I'm using the computer's processing power. But if you want me to do a standalone, I would just unplug it from the computer and then start working with it. But then, I mean, I don't see no reason to do that because I like to have the power from the computer power in the MPC so I could do more. You know what I'm saying? Like when I start adding effects and things of that nature. But yeah, if you mean like just unplug everything and go to the park and do it, yeah, I can do that. It's easy. I could live stream on my phone too. So, but I don't need to. I mean, I don't need to use it in standalone because I don't really. I got my MPC. I wanted my shit to be organic. You know what I'm saying I got tired of using FL Studio back in the days. I use FL Studio now. I use it together in conjunction now. But now I know how to use my MPC. Then my second thought was, well, let's say if somebody wanted me to go to their house and make a beat. Well, I just take this shit and go to the house and make a beat really quick. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say if I gotta work for a higher job, I gotta go to the studio in the city. Well, I just take my MPC, put it in my book bag. I go to the studio. Hey, you need me to pull out my MPC right now? Yeah, all right. So I make a beat with my MPC really quick. It has like 6 hours battery life. Technically, you never want to say 6 hours because you never want to say it could really hold that. You always want to say 4 hours. I got 4 hours on my shit. You know what I'm saying, and if I run a little extra, then I still have a little battery life left. But anyway, yeah, I can do that. I mean, that's simple. I mean, when I first got my MPC, the first time I used it was standalone. I was at my girlfriend's brother's house. I'm like, yo, look what I got! I got this new tool. And I brought my speaker with me too. I legit, I don't want to lift it right now, but I like these studio monitors. I bought a studio monitor with me. I'm in the living room. I plugged the studio monitor. I'm making a beat in the living room. Like, yeah, this shit crazy, right? Shit was whack as hell. But anyway, yeah, I blast you. Yeah, I did blast you with the volume. I'm sorry. I wasn't. My bad. Yeah. So, yeah. I get the. See, the thing is about the royalties. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking the camera. The thing is about the royalties is that that don't matter. That only matter for your pockets and for your family. You know what I'm saying? But in this world, the one thing that does matter is credibility. So you have to always take credibility into perspective. Because let's say if Jay-Z drops 99 Problems, but a bitch ain't one. Then they say Ice-T originally wrote the record. Ice-T is going to get credibility, which brings some more jobs, more employment. So the reason why they don't say Ice-T originally made the record and people don't even know, because they want to leave all the credibility to Jay-Z so he could not only get more jobs, you know what I'm saying, more records he could be on, but it also strengthens his character and make him more likable. See, it's all about who we like. So they know how to make. Okay, there's people out there in the world that know how to manipulate the mind. They know how to make you like this and like that. Then it happens every day, 24 hours a day. If you look at Facebook, some of the people that work at Facebook, if you really go look at Facebook, there's a lot of people who they sit around and they talk about this stuff. The mind, how does it work? What do people like? That's why they build data. That's why your phones listen to you. You know what I'm saying? That's why every time you go to a website, if you're not, doing an incognito mode, or you're doing it in a browser that stops them from putting those cookies and shit like that, they know all your moves. They know all the music you want to listen to, everything you want to buy. They know all this shit, right? So when it comes to a record label and an artist, you don't think they got people in there that do this too? Yeah, what you do is A&Rs and stuff are there for. They're not there just to go find the talent. They did find the talent, but also keep that talent and make sure that talent stays on top. So they know how to do this. They know how to pick the songs. They know what people are listening to right now. They know how to get a song for somebody, make sure that person stays quiet, and you don't really hear nothing from that person, but the other person gets full credit for it. But you got ghostwriters, you got people who come in to play the violin, the cello, the clarinet. They come in to make all these instruments. They make these records, or they use a sample, whatever. They know what they're doing, son. They just know. They know, son. So it's all about credibility. So if Ice-T would have got credibility for that record back then his situation would have been different from that point moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? So like I'll give you one more thing, another thing too. Sampling. When you sample, you don't really get credibility. The person, the record, what the people, oh where they get that record from? Where they sampled it from? And everybody goes to search for the sample because they want to look for the original person because they're gonna get the credibility because they made that their mind, heart, body, and soul made that record. So they want to know. They want to who. Then when they go to your YouTube channel, they're looking to see like, well, is there any videos on how he or she made it? Is there any tutorials? Like I want to know. I want to know. That's the difference between sampling and being original. Credibility. You know what I'm saying? Or authentic. Are you gonna buy a brand new out the box pair of Jordans or something that somebody just wore on their feet? No, they want authentic credibility. So that's why a lot of these record labels hide this shit. A lot of people hide the credibility. You know what I'm saying? That was Ice-T's message. Like, I don't see why Jay-Z didn't say we were friends. I don't see why he didn't just give me my credit. But I can tell you why, because that would have took away from Jay-Z's likability. Oh, he got niggas writing songs for him? Ah, fuck Jay-Z. I ain't buying that album. You gotta really think about the whole perspective, my G. The entire perspective. So when I sit down to make a record, I sit down for my credibility. If you go on my YouTube channel right now, let's see if I can pull it up. Put the NBC down really quick. I told Ghetto Styles this. And Ghetto Styles said, don't worry. He said, don't worry, man. You'll get there. I said, NPC. I told him I want people to do a movie about me. I want people to write stories about me, articles about me. I said I only got like 500, 600 subscribers on YouTube. Well, it's really like 300. My number is not right. My number is, I really got like 300 YouTube subscribers. I don't really have 500, 600. You know what I'm saying? Because half those people, they're not even on YouTube anymore. That was from when I used to play video games like 10 years ago. So that those subscribers don't count. I do stuff like this for credibility and for history purposes. I always say it. So let me pull up my, I'm on YouTube already. Let me just open up my page. All right. So let's go to the studio. And let's go to content. We gotta get the charger. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you in this. I'm gonna get the charger. All right. Huh? Okay, I'll be right with you. Give me a second. I'm gonna charge it and we're gonna get some food. So these vlogs are history purpose, right? This is all for history. I want somebody to go back and say, oh, he said this. I'm like, yeah, you damn right I said it. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. I'll be dead ass honest with you. But let me see if I can find it. Maybe it's under the lies. No, it's back here. Dude, look how cinematic this sound is. It's like sitting right up under everything. It's like my little soundtrack. This it? The page. What was it underlined? Right. So, yes. So, this is my point. I'll show you. This is my point. So now, when let's say somebody samples a piece of my music, let's say somebody samples this thing I did today, some famous artist, I don't know, whatever, and it gets out there, and they have to well, the credibility is always there for me because I usually put my stuff online, like do DistroKid and stuff like that, so it'll say who the original sample is, right? So the original sample owner is, so people, if they look, they'll find it. But now, if people was to come back to my page and they start going through all my live streams, on my videos, they'll see me creating that original sound from total scratch. Total scratch. Look, mess around with music, or this is, I don't even want to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? And some of these I gotta rename, but they'll come on here and they'll find the music from scratch. I might even have Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I think I got it. Is this one? Let me open this one up in a new window. Hold on. Look, 3 hours. So this has to be the original beat when I made it. Yo, that's crazy. And you see, that's history right there. Yo, what's good, big dog? Me at me music. I love, yo, that is so fire. What is it? Me at me music. Like, yo, I can't, dude. You crazy. I love it. What up, big dog? Woo! Yo, I didn't even remember how I made this. This shit crazy right here. I'm already into it. Yo, I don't be playing when I be making my joints, so I can't front, yo. That's crazy. So within the first 10 minutes, I basically had the record. But you see, I'm there for 3 hours and 30 minutes. I bet in the first 10 minutes, I had my song, a soul hip hop type track, original in 10 minutes. But 3 hours, that goes to show you like how much I put into mixing and mastering my records. I don't put out anything. That's crazy, dude. I'm gonna skip forward in the video. Listen to how the snare is not in the same room as the melody. You hear it? It's sitting on top. And the kick is hitting way too hard. So it's all about the mixing and the mastering for me. You know what I mean? I can make a melody in like 2 minutes, but it's how you bring that cohesiveness together. It's that final composition. It's crazy, yo. I'm gonna skip forward. It's like an hour in. I want you to pay attention to something. I don't just do stupid shit hi-hats. My hi-hat is an instrument. It needs to go along with the melody. If you pay attention to the way I'm beating on my hi-hats, it literally is like it's the melody, but in the hi-hat form. I'm not doing the fucking triplet hi-hats and all that bullshit. I ain't doing that shit. Everybody fucking do triplet hi-hats and they speed up their hi-hats. That's all they fucking do. I get so tired of that. That makes me. You put fucking triplet hi-hats in your fucking records, man. It makes me upset. I can't hear them shits, man. I need to hear music like me at me music, right? You see when that dude gets down with his music, it's like he's music. It's like literally when I'm watching him in this video and he fucking playing all those keyboards and like that. Literally, I see music. That's why I sit there and watch some shit. He can do a video for like 3 hours. I watch it because it's so dope. Like I see music. Then I go to somebody else's channel and they got a fucking picture of somebody holding a brick of money and there's triplet hi-hats all over and fucking 808 kick drum, bang, boom, 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 boom. And I'm saying the fucking bass, there's no bass line, there's only an 808 kick drum. The melody is a fucking loop pack. Come on, man. It's levels to this shit, dude. It's levels to this. That's all I got to say, man. Come on, man. I'm gonna fast forward. That's the hi-hat. So I think I pretty much got.
And then go to the expansions.
Oh, that's Gales. Okay, I got Gales out of there. Oh, we got the vocal. Let me bring it back. 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 Oh. I be killing everything. So yo, you're a fool, y'all. Yeah, it's hard to mix and master, and it is great to go back and listen to your stuff. Let me see. I wanna skip to the vocal. All right, here we go. I'll be right back. Okay. That's see, I don't play when it comes to music. I swear to you, I just don't play. I don't play when it comes to pretty much anything. But when my music, I don't play. I got a lot of tricks that I do. That sound you hear that sound like a bird sound, it's not a bird sound. That's a vocal sound. And that vocal sound is pitched up to make it sound like it's like a bird. And then I use it. I use that vocal as a sound effect in the track. It's just crazy. So I don't play. To eat a drink? Huh? You want cereal? Sorry about that. I'm gonna skip forward. Skip forward. Yeah, you see, I'm over here dancing. Like yo, that's bad funny. You know, I was feeling that shit, yo. No, that's so funny. I can't with myself, dude. That's so. I was feeling it. All right, I'm still for it. Problem is, if I leave it like that, it's gonna sound more like the '90s. See, I'm always teaching. Like how I pulled the vocals together. I went to a specific vocal pack that I have, and I was just scrolling down. I just, you know, I was just playing around with the with the preview of the audio files, and I was like, all right, boom, 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 boom. And I didn't even know like how I was gonna put it together, to be honest with you, but I just knew that those vocals sounded nice together. Because it's different takes that the vocalist did for the vocal pack. It's not one take that I chopped up. It's like it's 4 takes actually, 4 different word phrases, and I just put it together. So you know, if you have free time, you want to go back and see that. 'Cause that's the reason why I'm doing these videos, so people can see like the progression and hear the progression, so that, you know, when they step away and they do it themselves, they could kind of like get into that same format. You know what I mean? Because I really dive in, man. I don't play.
The experiences we never forget come from the choices we make. The Wagoneer, or the Grand Wagoneer. Grand Adventures. The choice is yours.
Yeah, that record is crazy, son. He said, sitting out of the army, right? Yeah, that joint is crazy. Remember, that's just, yeah, that beat's crazy. That beat is crazy. I could never use that beat though. That chick told me no, man. I contacted them. I said, yo, can I use the sample? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even for a song, it was just for the instrumental. They management team hit me back and said no. That's why I was like, you know what, fuck sampling it. I can't deal with these fucking people with sampling it. I'll just create stuff on my own. But yeah, I used that sitting out of army joint too in that diss record. That was back then when we was going through that whole battle stuff. It's right here. Sitting out of army. That joint is crazy, man. That joint is crazy. But there's another one too, man, that I did. Let's see if I can find it. Favorite one. Oh, let's go. This one. Yeah, you could Google me, son. I pop up. I pop up on Google. This one, right? This joint, one of my favorite, all-time favorite beats right here, man. I'm gonna put it and play it. Put it on YouTube. The song was already This song was already recorded too. I already sent it to Ghetto Sounds to mix down for the album. This is the one Orangutan Apes. Planet of the Apes and my niggas go orangutan. Niggas talking shit, banana clips, you know those hammers bang. NBC Fugazi niggas, Sean J, Boomerang. Planet of the Apes and my niggas go orangutan. Niggas talking shit, banana clips, you know those hammers bang. NBC Fugazi niggas, Sean J, Boomerang. And we born legit, yeah, swag like booty tank. Say my name, Dynasty. Lyrical biology, mythology, philosophy. All these haters doxing me, they watching me, the prophecy. All hail Dynasty. Hate until you crash, implode atomically. Uber or the lift, New York City gonna ride for me. Call me Jack Boy, yeah nigga, it's a robbery. And I'm on a turf bike, and I'm eating Mike and Ike's. Pushing that white, fiend chasing Klondike. Bars when I'm on a mic, fight like a lion Mike. Shoot her pinky toes off like Eddie and Harlem Nights. Snakes on the plane, yeah nigga, that's every flight. New York, we play Squid Game every night. Woo! 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 Yo! Y'all want the second verse? Yeah, that's coming. Yo. Planet of the fakes, and my niggas will eliminate. Orangutan apes, vigilantes without a cape. I'm an 80s baby, our specimen is so great. Still trying to clone us, deep in outer space. Shown up, had enough, I'm the master in the space. Catches bullets with his teeth, next time Lucas face. Where you from, dog? Man, I rep for the human race. Will you rest your head? New York City be my saving grace. Transform, Voltron, flying like Pacific Rim. Don't sway, music spreading like a pathogen. Try to knock me off then, deal with my next of kin. Put them on a chopping block like a crazy Mexican. Beef patty, cocoa bread with cheese be my vitamins. I ain't paying full price, had to see the Chinaman. I want all the guns attack like a lineman. East Coast, gotta the sea, Ghost Wave Leviathan. Gonna run for you, New York, New York. Gonna run or die for you, New York, New York. That shit's crazy. Yeah. That song is crazy, son. Yo. Planet of the Apes and my niggas go orangutan. Niggas talking shit, banana clips, you know those hammers bang. NBC Fugazi niggas, Sean J, Boomerang, and we born legit. Yeah, swag like booty tank. Say my name, Dynasty. Yeah, that's when that record comes out, it's gonna kill the streets. It's a New York anthem though, you know what I'm saying? So all New York niggas gonna be like, yo, it's crazy. But the beat is crazy, son. You get a beat like this and make you mad amped, and especially when you create it yourself. Oh, forget about it. You gotta see the dynamics. Oh, thank you. Now y'all over there going crazy in the chat, man. I appreciate it too. The dynamics though, the dynamics of my music is crazy. Is deep, man. You gotta pay attention when you listen to my music, especially when the album comes out. You gotta pay attention to how the dynamics of the beats are. The beats are not your typical beats, man. You listen to all the elements I pull. You know what I'm saying? Out and then push into this, like the way I use my melody, my vocal chops. I just don't use vocal chops any normal way. You know what I'm saying? It's the way I use it, like how the vocal brings life to the record. It's different. It's different from a lot of producers, man. Like some producers, their vocal chops is the record. Like their vocal chops is the record, like literally the record. My vocal chops is not entirely my record. They're there to enhance the record. That's why the vocals are done primarily last. And sometimes I don't even add vocals. I just do the beat. But when I mean like most producers, their vocals is the records because they're sampling vocals in their record. Like their vocals are part of their chops most of the time. Like literally, if you're taking like something from like, I don't know, say Celine Dion, you're taking her whatever she's doing, you're literally chopping that until it is your record. Most of the time, that's your record. My vocals are added last to enhance into I don't know, like boost up my record, make it have a little bit more life to it on top of the life that it already has. So you gotta listen to my vocals the way I use them. It's different, man. It's not the same, though. This is the beat by itself. It's fire, no vocals. But when I add the vocal in it, hit the high string. Listen to the high string. Listen to how I use it. See, it's a drive the track. It's a drive the track along. Then I got another high string that comes in after that one. For the chorus. Look, listen to that. Listen to that string. Listen to the string. Look at how many you have to see. I stack everything. There's so many different dynamics inside. Like if you put this at the fucking ball right here, right? I have so many dynamics happening in that ball, but at different times, different intervals, and played at different rhythms to bring life to the track. You gotta listen. If you really listen to how that first string I just showed you to the second string. This is all one fucking loop. That is like a 2-bar loop, if not maybe a 4-bar loop. But how I manipulate my strings within that time frame to bring forth different characteristics, different emotions, different feelings. That's how I do my music. If you listen to, you can literally, I'm not switching sequences. This is one sequence in the MPC. One sequence. But everything's compiled in such a way to bring characteristics to the record. Then when I spit my rhymes over it, it brings even more depth into the record. Yo, this shit is crazy, son. It's different for me, man. I'm trying to tell people it's different for me, man. Woo! Oh yeah, most definitely. I don't. Woo! Did you hear that? See, do you hear the 3 different ways I use strings in this record? 3 different ways I used it to build up characteristics, emotion, and then come in with that. You hear the chorus strings? Those chorus strings are crazy, son. But they're so dope, but they're not overpowering the mix. And to be honest with you, like this is what I do with myself, man. I bring me. You're gonna get the real. No matter if I'm at my house with my children, or if I'm doing a video in a room or somewhere for YouTube, or I'm saying if I'm at work, you always gonna get me, 100% me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man that has many flaws, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a man that has many positive things about him as well. You know what I'm saying? And at the same, just 100% you're gonna get me. So I won't be afraid to rhyme. No, I won't. I could go on the stage and rhyme in front of millions of people. I don't give a fuck. I'm not scared. You know what I'm saying? Because if I mess up, I mess up. And I'll keep going. And then at the end of my performance, be like, yo, I fucked up. Y'all heard me fuck up, right? And the crowd gonna start laughing because I'm a man, and I recognized it and I said it to them. I won't try to run off the stage like I ain't for this fuck up. Did they see me? Nah, I might even stop the record like, man, I just fucked up. Bring that shit back, and I'll bring it back. I'm just real like that. I'm not fake at all, man. You only got one life to live. Why live it being fake, man? Don't, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, that beat is crazy, man. I gotta stop listening to it. It gets me too hyped, though. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll be doing some stuff, man. Let's go to my videos. I'm about to get off soon. I want to play one more video that I really liked. Thought this was pretty cool too. This one right here. I can't wait for this record to come out. It's already recorded, so. Y'all niggas better stop, 'cause I'm heading to the top. The top, the top, the top. Oh, y'all niggas better stop, 'cause I'm heading to the top. The top. Yo, call me Mad Max, we could rumble in the Thunderdome. Leave this nigga leaning like that tower built in Rome. Leonidas, kiss my shorty, fuck it, I ain't coming home. Robert Downey Jr. track him down like Sherlock Holmes. Slugs will pop the naps off your head like a Mason Cone. Protect all my treasures like a Smurf or a gnome. Mouse in the house, I'm in the house like Jerome. Bro man through the window, shots to his dome. I was that dude that was placed in a foster home, searching for a way out, load out, Google Chrome, searching for a payout. Breaking Bad, mobile home, fucking with my chromosomes, left me with a syndrome. Loving with my girl moans, sex is sweet like honeycomb. Most of y'all confused like cell phone data roams. My flow too hot, it'll burn through the styrofoam. Dynasty historic like the Houston Astrodome. Let's go. Y'all niggas better stop, 'cause I'm headed to the top. The top, the top, the top. Y'all niggas better stop, 'cause I'm headed to the top. Yeah. Call me Jon Snow, Game of Thrones, I'm a Black Crow. I ain't no banker like Jim Carrey, Truman Show. Robbie for those dead presidents like Lorenzo. I'm the source, provided magazine, clips, Pizzino. Fellowship, Other Ring, Legolas with the bow. Straight heavyweight in the game like Riddick Bowe. Headed west like Kanye, see my haters dry slow. Y'all all gonna die slow. Brandon Lee in the crow, hot nigga, the handsome hustler, Quan Low. I'm the new Blind Fury, eyes for a volcano. The ace in my hood, hustle hard like Mano. Want my bread, recipe, hidden in a cookie dough. Peaceful like Miyagi dough, kick your ass like Cobra Kai. Dynasty, well connected, global like your Wi-Fi. Albert Einstein in the game, I'm a wise guy. Put my haters to bed and sing them a lullaby, let's go. Y'all niggas better stop, 'cause I'm heading to the top. The top, the top, the top. Y'all niggas better stop, 'cause I'm heading to the top. The top, the top, the top. I'm headed to the top, the top, the top, the top. You know why I love that video so much, man? Because it's raw, it's authentic, and it's me.
Boost up somebody else's ego. You don't need to.
It's just raw, it's authentic as me, man. Like that's the epitome of Dynasty right there. Like real lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Just my instrumental totally from scratch. It's crazy, son. Like it's crazy, dude. I love that video so much, man. And I try to memorize all my rhymes by heart, every last one. I don't play no games. I want to put on a concert. My main goal is to, in 2023, when the album drops, I want to put on a concert. So I know all the songs I have recorded. I know all of them by heart, all the lyrics. You know what I'm saying, so he pop shells at them. You know what I'm saying. I ain't with that side talk, ain't gonna talk, just let off and watch these niggas somersault. Honestly, I'm trying to build a dynasty, prophecy. Even Jesus wanna ride with me as time goes by. We all gotta die, so why you mad? Cause your homie in the sky? I get it, legend, he ain't get to say goodbye. But who am I? A Black Panther in disguise? My home, nigga, welcome to my home time zone. New York is where I roam, mind blown. Nickel plated 9 chrome, 9 homes. Pop shots and crackers dome homes, and I'll never be alone. Legendary ENT, we about to make our own way. Hear it out, let it spray. I'm Denzel before he died in Training Day. Pop shells at him, pop shells. You know what I'm saying? So I know it all by heart. So I'm gonna have my entire album. I'm gonna know the entire album by heart, and I'm gonna do a concert. Swear to God. So that's my main goal, is to perform and do my album. I'm not playing. Y'all even heard some of the stuff like the girl joint. The girl joint is crazy. So, how did we ever get this far in the game? Standing here watching those teardrops rain, and I feel your pain. I know you don't like me. I know you want to check a brother just like Nike, but I'm on a mission, man. I'ma make it better. I'ma make it smile cheese again like cheddar. You're the sunshine, and I'm the stormy weather. I put that on everything that you deserve better. I know your heart warm and cozy just like a sweater. To have another kiss from you, what would be better? Remember in the 10th grade, writing love letters. As I recall, yours always sounded better. Heading down to college, burning up that mileage. I have to acknowledge I was cheating in my cottage. Today is a new day. I'm sorry for your pain. Thank you for your time and letting me explain. And the second verse is, I know it'll take time, just like an hourglass. My attitude used to stink, just like a gym class. You could have told me, hit the road like an easy pass, but you stayed, hung around. That's a sign of real class. I was straight clueless. I had my own Stacey Dash, Keanu Reeves speeding. I was speeding like DoorDash, diving in, trying to stay wet like Split Splash. This my song cry. I'm hurt like Johnny Cash, falling from a tree. Like Akon, I'm sorry. Never wanna be alone. Fat kid at that party, blaming on the alcohol, too much Bacardi. How many times I said it? Again, ma. I'm sorry, I'm slick and I'm fly. A New York type of cat. I promise your pops I'll never do you like that. And I'm going down. Maybe J Blige, I realize. Better tell the truth. I'm on the Schwarzenegger True Lies. Come on, son. My album's gonna be crazy when that shit takes off. And if you pay attention to my bars is crazy, son. And you have to really listen. Diving in, trying to stay wet like Splish Splash. Like I'm me diving in, trying to stay wet. Like I'm always cheating, trying to get some vagina, some pussy. Diving in, trying to stay wet like Splish Splash. This my song cry. I'm hurt like Johnny Cash. You know what I'm saying? Falling from a tree. Like Akon, I'm sorry. Falling from a tree. What do Akons do? They fall from a tree. And Akon made the song I'm sorry. Falling from a tree like Akon, I'm sorry. And I'm falling. Like I'm falling from a fucking tree. Like I'm falling because you know what I'm saying? I hurt you. I caused you pain. Falling from a tree like Akon, I'm sorry. Never wanna be alone. Fat kid at that party. Come on now. Blame it on the alcohol. Too much Bacardi. How many times niggas blame themselves being drunk for some stupid shit that they did? You know what I'm saying? Blame it on the alcohol. Too much Bacardi. How many times I said it? Again, mom, sorry. Think about that shit. Blame it on the alcohol. Too much Bacardi. How many times I said it, mom? Again, mom, sorry. I keep fucking apologizing. I keep fucking up. My record is dope, son. People can't tell me nothing about my bars. Nothing, son. Dynasty is going to fucking smash. And if I don't smash, I don't give a fuck. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm going to smash in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. You know what I'm saying? Blame it on the alcohol. Too much Bacardi. How many times I said it? Again, mom, sorry. I'm slick and I'm fly. A New York type of cat. I promise your pops I'll never do you like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you go have that meeting with the father, but you fuck and you promise him, but you still fuck up. Promise your pops will never do you like that. And I'm going down. What's the song? Mary J. Blige. I'm going down. 'Cause you ain't around. Baby, my whole world's upside down. I flipped the song. And I'm going down. Mary J. Blige, I realize. Better tell the truth. I'm on the Schwarzenegger True Lies. And the movie on the Schwarzenegger in True Lies, he was an undercover cop. So all the shit, undercover agent. So all the shit that he was doing is because he was undercover. So my whole song is me apologizing to the shorty. But in the last line of the song, I tell people I was really an undercover cop. And that's the reason why I was doing all this shit. Come on, my nigga. I'ma end the stream on that note. They're not fucking with me, son. People pay attention to Dynasty, they know that I'm legit. I'm one of those ones, man. I'm one of those ones. And I know it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I be trying to help people, teach people. Why do you think people get mad? Oh, Dynasty a hater. I'm not a fucking hater. I put forth 1,000,000% into my craft and into me. And I expect for you to do the goddamn same. And when you don't and you cheat the system and cheat your way, of course I'm not gonna like it. I'm being man enough and being humble enough to say I don't fucking like it. I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh, that's a dope ass snare. Oh, I love the mood. No, I'm gonna say, no, this shit is not good. And people don't like people like me. They don't like it. Yeah, exactly. I know you, son. When I'm on your channel, I'm like, yo, this dude is fucking amazing. I be showing people. I'm like, yo, come watch this shit. This nigga great. Yo, this nigga, you know, this keyboard, that keyboard. But I love my favorite part is though when you look into the camera, you're like, you look into the camera, you like, you get that shit, nigga. Yo, when you do that, I'm like, yo, nigga. That shit be the best, son. like, yo, you ain't fucking with me, son. You ain't fucking with me. And when you do that, I be dying laughing, son. That shit be there. And I love it when you have the band, I don't know, the thing you have on your head, and you make your head go back and forth like that. That shit be swinging. I'm like, yo, this nigga is too ill, son. But I like real people. I like people who do stuff like that. I don't like the fake shit. Phony, you know what I'm saying? Bullshit, you know? Yeah, man, exactly. Yeah, let me get going. I'm sorry I wasn't in the chat a lot. I was talking a lot. I was trying to. But my next stream, I'll probably do like a chat-in stream, and I'll read the chat, and we could talk. I'll probably do that. But since I was talking, I was so into the music, it's kind of hard for me to like jump out of the music, then jump into the chat, because my mind be going. Y'all know, y'all are creators. The mind just races, dude. Sorry, I hate when I block the camera. I got the camera right in front of me. Sorry about that. But anyway, let me get going. I gotta go feed him. I gotta feed myself. I gotta get ready to go pick up my kids soon, my other kids, and then I'll probably be back on later on tonight. But thank you, man. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And what I'll do is I'll probably go back and read the chat and jot down some notes, so in the next stream I could bring that stuff up and talk about it. But I do like to chat. That's what I'll probably do. But yo, thank you. And yo, y'all are famous. And I'm telling you, when we blow up and we take over the world with all this music shit, y'all gonna be famous. First of all, I can't wait to bring people with me. That's my number one goal. Is to blow up and bring people with me, man. We gotta be in the studios together. We gotta be doing this shit together. And another thing is, y'all all over my videos, so they're gonna be like, oh, Jezza or Ja or Me at Me, and you know what I'm saying, or Ghetto Styles, and all these people, they was there from the beginning. They were there. Look, they're in the live stream. Like, yo, I tell you, wow, that shit, that's how it happens, son. But and then that's credibility too. Like, nigga, I knew him way before you. How you doing? You ain't know him way before me. And you just go to the YouTube channel and show him how you was in the chat like 10 years ago. But let me get going. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. And again, I'll play the sample that we made between yesterday and today, and I'll mute the mic, and I'm gonna go take care of my son, and I'm gonna be out. All right, let me bring this back. Thank you again. Appreciate it.